Right then, get comfortable, it's going to be a long one. Tash, you won't be hearing that again today, don't worry. Ladies, gentlemen, and Greg. First of all, a huge thank you to my support actors. Go home. So I knew it was going to be difficult to follow Jason's speech today. I mean, it was so out of character for him. I didn't quite follow any of that. I'm sorry, but I'm of course only joking. It was a lovely speech, and it was also very emotional. I mean, even the cake's in tears. That is as good as this gets. So if you're not feeling it, just chat amongst yourselves, go for a walk. For those of you that haven't met me yet, I'm Andy, or as Jason calls me, Sutcliffe. And for those of you that have met me and don't recognise me, don't worry, drunk me will be at the bar later. I'm of course honoured to be here to hold this duty today as the best man. And as such, I wanted to do something special for you guys. So I wanted to get you something unique, memorable, special present. So I thought just after you got married, I would take a photo. I'd already spoken to a print shop in town, and they were going to basically print your first wedding photo for you. And I have that here today to present. So here we go. I'm just going to open this up. I've not seen this yet, so. Oh no, this isn't your first wedding photo. This is a photo of your first wedding. Oh, just going to put this up here. Oh, damn. I'm worried I've messed this up now. Jason said if I did a good job, I'll get to be best man at his next wedding as well. Tash, you're of course looking beautiful as ever today, and I think we can all agree that Jason has done very well for himself. I would like to say that Jason is an improvement on, that Tash is an improvement on Jason's previous romances, but other than his cherished poster of Britney Spears he had on his wall to the age of 19, there's not much to compare against. So. Gentlemen, I'm sure you will all agree that Jason is very fortunate today. Tash is a very special girl. She's one of the most beautiful and caring people I know. And most importantly, and above all, she's always been considered as one of the lads. So that may not sound like a good thing, but it is. And ladies, I'm sure you'll all agree that Tash is also very fortunate today. She gets to go on holiday tomorrow, result. I mean, Jason must have a very well-paid job or a very big heart. Now to mention our two lovely bridesmaids who have already been mentioned, but you're both looking especially beautiful and only being outshone by our lovely bride. I understand there can sometimes be some rivalry between bridesmaids, so with the rain I've managed to arrange for some mud wrestling later, just to settle any differences. I'll be judging that, so no worry. So, let me tell you about Jason. The first day I met Jason was my first day of primary school. The teacher's exact words were, "You're tall, you can sit next to Jason." And that was that. 20 odd years later on, here we are. We made friends quickly, and one day, Jason even showed me how to kick a girl in the head if she was kiss chasing you at playtime. I would love to say his charm with the ladies has improved over the years, but not even a little bit. I also remember when Jason first invited me round his house. He must have been very excited about this because during the 10-minute walk home, he managed to crap his pants. It did. It did happen.
The most embarrassing story. The Mr. and Mrs. That was not the most
I had to save something. So one day at junior school, Jason approached me and asked if I'd be interested in playing football. Jason's father, Nigel, was looking to make a team, and so I said yes. We turned up to our first training session. We had visions of being the next Alan Shearer, scoring hundreds of goals, driving fast cars and making millions of pounds. Nigel lined up the misfits who had arrived to make the first Heatherside Junior Football Club, looked at me and Jason and said, "You're tall, you're playing centre-back." And that was it, our dreams crushed in 10 seconds. We were soon enjoying our teenage years, and it was our last day of school. Our chemistry teacher, Mrs. Blackford, had offered us any experiment we wanted as a last day treat. We simply requested, burn stuff. She did our best and showed us the art of fire writing. This involves drawing your name in a flammable liquid on a piece of filter paper, lighting one end, and you watch the small flame follow where you'd drawn. She had the best intentions. Unfortunately, this wasn't enough for Jason. He set about saturating his entire sheet of paper in the flammable liquid and drying this on the radiator in the corner of our science lab. It took about 20 minutes for Jason to dry out his filter paper. It then took a further 20 minutes for us to evacuate the building, including half the language block because of the black smoke. While growing up, we did what all good teenagers do. Ride bikes, set the woods on fire, and ruin each other's houses when our parents were away. When your parents were away, you had what was called a free house. If you told anyone at school about this, it meant that weekend 500 to 500 teenagers would turn up with a lethal amount of Alga Pops and a combination of spirits stolen from their parents' drinks cupboard. It was at such a party that Tash and Jason first met. Tash was introduced to Jason by the name of Will. I can't imagine why. And for a while, she believed this to be his actual name. Tash was impressed how Will could talk for hours about current football affairs, wear a girly earring, and handle drinking 2 entire small bottles of Smirnoff Ice in a night. It wasn't until Tash made the mistake of venturing to the Agincourt that Jason decided he would make his move. The Agincourt is a special place to us, and by special, I mean it was the only place that would serve us under the age of 17. The Adge, we called it, is the kind of place where when the lights turn on at the end of the night, you get a nasty shock and you quickly make for the exit. Fueled up on 2 Smirnoff Ice, Jason saw his chance and made his move. Making shapes to the sound of Insomnia and using the smoke machine to mask his advance, he moved in for his first kiss with Miss Jones. It was love at first sight. The thoughts of great holidays, living together, a huge wedding and having children all rushing through Tash's mind. And then the lights came on. She realised it wasn't Prince William. Now, the end of our childhood and teen years will always be marked in our memories by 3 legendary summer holidays. Ibiza, Cancun and Las Vegas were all well out of our budget. Malia, Kavos and Falaraki. These were the towns where dreams were made. These holidays consisted of bar crawls, epic games of volleyball, hotel fines for losing our keys most nights, drunken simulator rides, foam parties, dangerous water sports, head fuckers, that's a drink, mum, don't worry. Clubbing every night, and most importantly, walking along the beach until the sun came up with your best friends having the time of your life. I've literally got hundreds of stories I'd like to share with you all about Jason and me growing up, but unfortunately there isn't time, so here's a brief rundown of some of the finest. Watching Coldplay with Tash and Jason at Glastonbury Festival, we were about 10 metres from the front of the stage, and it was an amazing experience. Less the fact that me and Jason were dressed as bridesmaids in skimpy pink dresses which left nothing to the imagination. Me falling asleep halfway into our Reading Festival tent one year. It then proceeded to rain all night and flooded all of our belongings. Jason chose not to camp with me again after that. Entering Battle of the Bands with Jason, Chris and Will, who are all here, with a song we wrote 10 minutes before we were meant to be on stage. We were only saved from coming last by a band who chose to scream down the microphone and jump round in circles for 20 minutes, stealing a construction sign on the way home from the Adge, so big that it took 6 people to carry. We took shifts and managed to get this 2 miles until we dumped it in Chris's garden. Jason attempting to up his game at university and drink an entire bottle of vodka before a night out. He got about halfway and was pleased with his efforts until he was sick out the kitchen window and spent the night on the bathroom floor. Jason finishing his driving test with 1 less wing mirror than he started with. The examiner didn't need to explain why he'd failed, apparently. And finally, Jason getting so drunk in Faliraki that he chose to sleep in the street. When we finally got him up, he refused to believe that we knew the way home. So we then resulted in us wandering around town for 2 hours and him losing a €50 bet. I think it was, oh sorry, was it €200? Oh. Now, there comes a time where we all have to grow up and settle down. And unfortunately for Jason, that day is today. He now owns a house, a football table, and a woman. He has this dream job where he gets to tell fat people off for enjoying their lives too much. And he gets to go on amazing holidays, travelling the world with Tash. Most importantly, today is the closure on a long-running debate as to whether or not the fact of Jason actually being gay or not. I had a bet that he wasn't gay, which reminds me, Nigel, pay up. Excuse me. Now, my final story to mention is Jason's stag do. Usually what goes on tour stays on tour, but there's just too much good shit to talk about. Planning for me was pretty simple. Jason, being the more organised one, had pretty much decided where and when we were going, booked it and told us what flights to get about 6 months in advance. All I had to do was organise surfing whilst we were there. Sorted. Unfortunately, the surfing Jason had in mind wasn't the kind on top of a wheelie bin at 4 a.m. And so less than 7 hours after arriving in Portugal, I was accompanying him in the back of an ambulance to Lagos paramedic to have some stitches in his head. Next day, we collected Jason, and he was under strict orders: no sun, no alcohol, and no swimming. So his weekend was off to a great start. Fortunately, the weekend quickly improved. The Saturday was a mix of team-based challenges and treasure hunts. It was an amazing day and has since been named Super Saturday. I have a few awards I would like to mention for some of the guys that came. Quote of the day goes to Chris Catamol for saying, "This is one of the top 5 days of my life. It pushed out my graduation." The Community Spirit Award goes to Mark Warman for being fined €50 by the Marina Security for attempting to steal a 4-foot plastic dolphin. Where is he? The Relentless Effort Award goes to Jason Rouse himself for attempting to create a 10-man conga line in a bar which only had 8 people in it at least 3 times. And the Treasure Hunt Commitment Award goes to Alex Morton for offering to snog a very camp-looking Portuguese man in exchange for his team winning the treasure hunt. His team had already won the treasure hunt 3 hours earlier. And finally, it's the Taking Part That Count Awards goes to Team Window Lickers, consisting of Mal, Ben, Pete and Chris. Not only did they manage to lose all challenges and games over the weekend, they also managed to lose their camera and all treasure hunt items within 30 minutes of starting. So, well done. The stag do was a few weeks ago now, and I'm glad to say that Jason's face has healed well. Fortunately, Tash wasn't with him for his looks in the first place, so no harm done. I've got a few puns which I've got to put in it. Let's just say it was a really good weekend. Getting trashed in a foreign country has always been a favourite pastime of us and a good way to dispose of some income. So there's more. So a huge thank you to everyone that came. It was an awesome weekend. So last of all, please everyone join me in saying a huge thank you and make a huge round of applause to those who have made today possible and so special. So Jane, Elise, Tash, Gavin, Nigel and Jason, thank you very much. Cheers. go. Finally, Tash and Jason, I know you're going to be very happily married together. Your competitive natures seem to thrive when you're together. And we're all looking forward to the table football finale later. As Jason has yet to lose a game against Tash, I propose a forfeit that he has to drink one shot every time he scores a goal. I think we all agree that's fair, right? Yeah. Good. Okay, that's it from me. Please, everyone, if you could stand, raise your glass. And join me in wishing all the happiness in the world to the happy couple. The happy couple.